Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. I am Adam. This is Open Late, and tonight I am opening a figure that I've had in my possession for a few weeks now. So I guess it kind of qualifies for the Open Late sort of rules that I have for myself. This is, of course, the G.I. Joe Classified Series Dreadnok Gnawgahyde. That's this guy. Porkbelly. That's this guy. And Yobbo, which is this little guy. I am very, very excited to open this. Now, the vintage Gnawgahyde was very near and dear to my heart as a kid. It was a figure that I absolutely loved. I loved the accessories. I loved everything that came with it. You know, he had the warthog, he had the hat that was removable. You know, that was sort of one of the things that I really liked. I've always liked, you know, removable accessories and accessories that have sort of parts that have to like fit together, or you know, when a backpack could carry a sword, I used to love that, or when something could clip on it, or what have you. So this figure was always one that I really, really liked because he also had, you know, the knife that clipped on his wrist and all that kind of stuff. And I just, you know, when this was announced, you know, before we even got the render, before we got the reveal or anything like that, I was just very, very excited to get Gnawgahyde. Now, you know, I'm not a huge Dreadnoks guy, admittedly, and I've said that before, but it didn't matter. Gnawgahyde was one that I really liked. I have also said before that, you know, I really like figures that came with animal companions, and he came with the warthog. The vintage figure came with like an orange warthog, but you know, this is more accurate. So I'm okay with the fact that this Porkbelly doesn't look like the warthog that came with the original Gnawgahyde. But then, you know, they went above and beyond and added Yobbo on there as well. Gave them names, gave them you know, jewelry and eye patches and things like that, and really just kind of put them over the edge as far as I'm concerned. So very, very excited about this. Now, I'm feeling a little bit ambitious, and I don't want to jinx anything, but we'll sort of see how the unboxing of Gnawgahyde goes. And if all goes to plan, I got this guy yesterday too, so I may open Road Pig as well. But you know, as I said, I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'm committing to opening Gnawgahyde with the tease or the threat, I guess, depending on how you look at it, of opening Road Pig as well. So yeah, that's the plan for this evening. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling festive. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas, which is wild. I hope you've got your shopping done because you know, you're running out of time. I have got everything I need apart from I think 2 gifts, both of which will be pretty easy for me to get. So stay tuned next week. You know, next week I'll be panicking if I don't have those. But for the time being, for right now, I'm feeling good. And I'm as I said, you know, I love Christmas. I know a lot of collectors love Halloween, but I love Christmas. Christmas is sort of my season. So speaking of people that love Halloween, Imperious Rex Cosplay and Toy Photography is here. Good to have you, Kelly. John from the Collecting Brothers says, show me that Porkbelly. Loco Basewalker, who is, of course, in real life, Luc Poulin, is here as well. And he says, it's been a long time since I saw a live G.I. Joe unboxing with you. Wishing you a great holiday season. You too. Good to have you hanging out tonight. Allison Troy is here. And Kelly says, my boy Road Pig. The Road Pig, I'm really excited about that Road Pig too. That was a figure that I really liked too as a kid. You know, the removable shoulder pad, the fact that he was kind of more oversized. He had that he had the what I thought as a Canadian kid was like the hockey blocker that went on his wrist. So I'm excited about that one too. I haven't been haven't paid that close attention to the accessories that come with that figure, so I don't know if he comes with that blocker, and I will be a little disappointed if he doesn't. But very excited to have him nonetheless. Flash 739 is also here. Good to have you, Flash 739. All right, let's take a look at Gnawgahyde. The box. Here it is. They are, they're sort of scaling them down. They're sort of losing some of the identity that I think some of the original boxes had. I'm not really digging the boxes anymore. I've started just recycling these. I don't keep them anymore. For a number of reasons. Like I said, they're smaller. They don't have the artwork that they did, for the first 70 or whatever, where it was, different artists imagining, their versions of the character. The packaging is, it's just packaging now for me. Anyway, there are the specialty insignia sort of call outs that he gets there, as well as a QR code that leads you somewhere. I've literally never scanned a single one of these because I don't, it's not me. I mean, I like the physical object. I like the toy. There's the back of the package. Being that this is a Dreadnok, I do have one nitpick of the box, not even of the figure. But all the other Dreadnoks, have been in the garage, with the musical gear, with the grape soda cans. Gnawgahyde's outside in the rain, which is fine, but it seems out of place given that every other Dreadnok figure has had, the same sort of theme to the packaging. And because I will probably forget when it comes around to it, Road Pig, which is a figure that comes out after Gnawgahyde, Gnawgahyde's 125, Road Pig's 135, has the garage motif, has the pop cans. So, I get that this makes more sense for Gnawgahyde, but, maybe in the corner over here, they could have had the garage or something. I don't know how they would have done it, but then again, as I just said, I'm going to be recycling this packaging anyway, so it doesn't matter. It really is one of those like nitpicks where I say like, oh, here's my complaint. And then somebody in the comments says like, oh, well, how could you complain and then say it's a great figure? Because it's the box. I don't care. I'm just saying. They missed it with this one. I'm just saying. Details that get sort of called out here: the tattoo on his head, Porkbelly's nose ring, and Gnawgahyde's dog tags there. I'm a little bit giddy about this. I do love the animal companions. The fact that we get two, the fact that we get Timon and Pumbaa in this set here, I'm pretty excited about. Then on the side, we get the pretty generic art. Now, this is a little less generic because you also get Porkbelly and Yobbo. This art is sort of the exception to what I've been saying of it being sort of general and boring. However, I really would have liked to see, something a little bit cooler than that sort of in-house art. And I will say this, I like the style that they're using. It's not as interesting as it was, when there was an artist doing the art for each figure, for each character. But life goes on. I don't have enough room for the figures, so why am I worried about the packaging? I need to recycle the packaging anyway. All right. Justin Mohan says, are you going to take advantage of the tax break to get some cool figures? No, I'm not. Because if I'm being perfectly honest, it doesn't, the tax break's going to save us, what, 7% or 5%? I don't even know. I don't pay attention. It's not that big of a deal. I order pretty much everything that I am interested in as a pre-order, when it's released. I don't wait. So, if a pre-order comes up in the next, in the like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, where Canadians are getting what they're calling the tax break, I'll be happy, but it's really not going to affect my buying at all, if I'm being perfectly honest. Flash739 says, I really wish this line had file cards inside or even virtual online. I think that's what this is. I do think that's what this is. Now, I don't know if you can like save them or download them or what. But again, you know, as a file card or as a kid, you know, I didn't keep the file cards. I just tore my action figures out of the packaging. And I know that G.I. Joe file cards now go for like decent money if you've got really nice clean ones. I just didn't care then. And I don't really care now either. They are cool. And now I have sort of a nostalgic fondness for something that I never had. But yeah, even with the vintage Joes that I have and have sort of recollected as an adult, file cards didn't. I haven't sort of bought any file cards. So knowing that I haven't sort of collected file cards makes me understand myself well enough to know that it would just be more stuff that I wouldn't care about if I held on to it or whatever, right? So. And yes, there you go. There it is in the comments. How can you complain if it's a great figure? It's you know, I can be critical and still like something. I mean, that's the two things are not mutually exclusive. So, anyways, let's get Gnawgahyde out of the box. I already cut the tape, so I can just open this right up, and slide out the backing. I will say this too. I have such a backlog of things to open. And what I realized this past weekend was that if all goes to plan, you know, I'm intending to do like a best figures of 2020, like my top 10 of 2024. And what I realized is I've got figures in my unboxed stack that might very well make it into the top 10, and not even just because of recency bias, because of like how great they are, that I haven't even opened yet. So I'm kind of on a mission for the next week or so. So, you know, to that point, you know, if you haven't already, you know, subscribe. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of videos coming out in the next week, 2 weeks, because I'm also going to have to record my top 10 before I go away, and I go away before the end of December, so I won't be able to record it, you know, after. And I gotta take a look at. Why don't I open this while I'm yammering on? It looks really, really good in here, but in here doesn't matter. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm gonna look back at you know, the schedule that I did last year as far as when I did my top 10 of 2023 and the top 10 figures that I was most looking forward to in 2024. And then I would probably just try to do it. Try to have those recorded and try to release them on the same calendar day that I did last year, just for consistency's sake. I think that's what sort of made the same, or that's what sort of made the most sense in my head. Because I did sort of release them over the holiday period, where I thought, you know, like some people get a nice holiday, and some people will sort of have the time to watch these videos. Not that I expect or anticipate anybody's going to watch my videos, but you know, if you got time, if you're so bored that you're watching my videos, I kid. I enjoy watching these, and I do hope that people enjoy. I don't enjoy watching my own videos. That's not what I meant. I enjoy making the videos, and I do hope that people enjoy watching them. I'm not sure where there's tape on the back of them, because I don't think that held him in. All right, can you guys still hear me okay? That was the issue that I had a couple weeks back. So now I'm just sort of nervous that the sound's terrible or something like that. But anyway, let me know. Or don't, if you can't hear me at all. All right, let me get this guy somewhat posed up enough to just stand while we take a look at the accessories and the animal companions. And he is like, his ab crunch is like crunched right over. There we go, that's better. Stand up straight, young man. All right, there's him. Hey, what figures are you most looking forward to in your collection? Oh, I'm really looking forward to an articulated warthog. That's going to be one of the highlights of my year. Said very few people a couple years ago. And yet, here we are. Articulated at all? No, just static. That's okay. Obviously, he's going to ride on the back there. Okay. Oh, I love them already. Yeah, I can hear you. Just the sound of that plastic prison is terrible. I know. I agree. It's terrible. Allison says, I'm watching, listening while editing. I hate editing. This is how it's tolerable. I do such a minimal amount of editing, and it's largely because I don't like editing either. I enjoy this part. I enjoy, recording. I enjoy playing with toys. I really don't enjoy listening to myself. So part of editing and it is like a big part of editing is having to sort of listen to myself talk. And I don't enjoy listening to myself talk. It's quite the opposite. I really don't like the sound of my voice, which is pretty normal for people, I think. And yet here I am talking and subjecting all of you to the voice that I don't enjoy listening to. Anyways, let's take a look at the accessories. I'm gonna start with what? I don't know. The rifle case. So this is, I'm pretty sure, the same one that we got with low light. And by extension, we get the same rifle that we got with low light, and this is modular. So you get the silencer, you get the scope that comes off, and the tripod that comes off as well. I'm not going to take it off, but it does come off. It goes in the case. Look, there's a spot for it right there. And then the magazine that also comes out. So, all that together, it really suits my interests. I love the little modular stuff. I love the little things that sort of plug in and by extension, you could run it with nothing on it. It would be smaller and it would be sort of less detailed. But you have options for toy photography's sake. You also have options for, you can have this figure sort of setting up the rifle, or something along those lines, which is, I think, pretty cool. Trying to get this to sort of sit up. There we go. As somebody that is not a toy photographer, I'm never going to do that, but I'm going to play with it that way. I might sort of pose them up that way. I just like that you've got options. We get a backpack with 3 arrows in there as well. This is, I think, the same as the Shadow tracker's backpack, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and there's some ports to sort of plug different things in. One of which is, of course, going to be this extra arrow. So that will go right in there. I think, yeah, I don't want to force it because it'll also attach to the bow. What bow, you say? Well, this compound bow, which is really soft. So this is still the era of soft weapons. I don't know why they do them so soft. I don't even know how this is going to get in his hand because it's just too soft. It's going to be too bendy. This goes on here as well. This came off while I was pulling it out of the package. I don't love the compound bow, but that's fine. I think for the character it works. You know, he also gets 2 small knives. They are the same. So 2 of the same knives. They're gonna go on the figure. Yeah, so one goes on the belt on the back. One is gonna go on his ankle there as well. So those are cool. They did include the wrist-mounted machete, which makes absolutely no sense, but I'm so glad that they did include it because this is like, you know, it's part of Gnawgahyde. It would have been a disservice to not include this one. This is bent, all kinds of bent, but hot water is going to fix that, no problem. This is bent as well. Nothing is ever straight in G.I. Joe Classified. They're always just twisted and bent and crooked, and that's fine. Whatever, life goes on. Like I said, I can heat them all up, and they'll be perfectly fine. Then we get his hat, and the hat looks fantastic. The detail work is really, really good. The paint apps, you know, he's got the strap with the teeth, or the sort of ribbon with the teeth. It looks really, really good. I'm very, very happy with that. It's way better than the weird orange one that we got with the original figure. And then we get the figure. So he's got some scars on his head. I just realized that my camera is fine, but my light is not. So I'm also going to adjust this. There we go. That wasn't so bad. So there we go. There is the figure. He looks really, really good. This stuff doesn't fit very well. I'm gonna have to heat that up and sort of figure out how to get it to sit a little bit nicer because it's all making his shoulders look really big, but I don't think it's meant to look quite that big on the shoulder. He's got his anarchy tattoo. He's got his bicep wrap, which is removable. Like that's just a floating piece, not sculpted on, which again is actually kind of cool. He's got wrist cuffs that are floating. He has got another tattoo on this arm, which is weird. It's a snake and a dagger and an arrow. I can't quite make out the design. Is that a skull? I don't really know. Anyway, leopard print on the vest looks kind of wild, but I'm digging it. He's got his cargo jeans on, you know, a knee pad, some bracers on his shins. Just altogether a pretty cool figure. The real test though. Oh, and the tattoo on his head, and an earring, and the weird mustache, beard. I don't know, what is that? There's got to be a name to that, but anyway, he looks cool. But like I said, I'm gonna heat this up and sort of get it to sort of fit a little bit better because it just keeps riding up and it's just sort of sitting very high on his neck, which I'm not enjoying. But maybe that's just the way that it's going to be. Anyway, we'll see. Long term, I think he looks better with the hat anyway. It's Gnawgahyde. He's got to have the hat, so he's probably going to have that hat on all the time. So the scars are fine, but I think the look with the hat is much, much better. Moving on to the stars of the show, Timon and Pumbaa. The little monkey here is very angry. He's a very angry monkey, but he does have an eye patch, so I guess there's reason for him to be angry. He's had an eye gouged out or plucked out or something. It is static, and it is odd that like his hands are sort of in these like gripping positions, which makes me think that he kind of fits somewhere on the figure, or because he doesn't really fit on the warthog, but that's okay. It looks good. The sculpt is good. The paint apps are good. Altogether, as far as a 6-inch scaled animal companion monkey, macaw. I don't know what is this? Capuchin? I don't know. What is this? Is he a monkey? I think he's a monkey. I think that's the correct term. I just don't know what species he is, but how is he going to fit on? Does he sort of fit on his shoulder? Not really. There's got to be a way that he kind of fits on the figure. Anyway, moving on. The warthog looks fantastic, and the warthog is sort of articulated as you would expect a classified animal to be articulated. He's got articulation at sort of the waist, at the neck, at the head. Is his jaw? Oh, his jaw's articulated too. How do you get that open? There we go. Uh-oh. His jaw is extremely articulated to the point of falling off. There you go. So it'll open, but don't open it too far. He's got a nose ring, of course, because why wouldn't you if you're an angry Dreadnok warthog? He's got an earring. He also appears to have like a nail or a bolt or something through his tusk right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's painted silver. But again, as I said, the articulation is good. You've got articulation at the ankle, at the knee, at the hip for each of the 4 legs. And then, you can flail the legs out or in as you see fit. I don't really know how warthogs move, so I'll have to sort of take a look at some warthogs to get an idea of how to pose this guy and how to place him. But whether or not it's an accurate depiction of a warthog, it looks pretty dope. Like it's pretty rad. Like the animal companions for me in the classified series have been some of the highlights. I think my one of my figures of 2022 was Timber that came with Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was just sort of a bonus in that package, but yeah. Billionaire says top 10 of 2024, in my opinion. That's are you considering sort of the whole package together? I'm curious. It's a very good figure. I don't know if it's going to make my top 10. I'll be perfectly honest. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but just because I think there's a lot of really, really good figures that came out in 2024. It's a very, very good figure, though. Allison Troy enjoying the warthog spread. Yep. You can use that monkey to reenact scenes from the movie Outbreak. I totally could. I just need, a Dustin Hoffman figure and a Martin Freeman figure or Morgan Freeman figure. And who else was in that? Anyway, yes, I could. I don't remember that monkey having an eye patch though. AWOC needs a warthog. Yes, it does. AWOC does need a warthog. And if all goes to plan, we will have one. It has been designed. He just hasn't been in the comic book yet, so he just hasn't really shown up yet. So, I love this. I will say, you know, as much as this rifle is kind of rinky-dink and bent and whatever, I genuinely like that it is modular and that I can tuck all the pieces in this case. And this speaks to sort of me as a small child, because I absolutely loved stuff like this as a kid. I absolutely loved, you know, any toy that had this sort of play value added, that was like this, where, you know, you had to, you build the weapon and it like goes in a backpack, and you know, kind of all that stuff. I just really enjoy this type of thing. Now, because this is bent, because the rifle part is bent, it doesn't want to close properly for me, but that's okay. Life goes on. As I said, I'll heat that up and sort of fix that, and get that sort of dialed in. What I just realized is that he has effectively 2 backpacks. So you kind of got to like pick which backpack you're going to use, because if you plug that one in, there's nowhere for that one to go. There, you know, you can plug it on there, but it looks weird and it doesn't fit, you know, from that side. And as I said, I think this one suits Gnawgahyde a little bit better, so I'm gonna go with that one. I do want to get this on here and get the knives in loaded up, just to sort of see how he looks. That feels weird. That feels wrong. Feels too high. So let me see if I can get it to sit lower. Yeah, I think I like it better like that, a little bit lower on the wrist. Even though it doesn't really fit that low on the wrist. And I might have broken it. Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's not broken, but it bent in a way that that I don't particularly love. So I'm going to do this again. By taking the bracer off. Does the bracer come off? Yeah, that works better. That works better. Okay, that's on better. I still don't love that it's as sort of fragile as it is. But that's okay. It sits kind of funny, but maybe that's just because it's bent. Anyway, let me get these daggers tucked in here as well. These knives tucked away. I do like this one. It's like, you know, fur to match the sleeves and the bracelet. So I also like knives on belts like that. That's cool. I like that. This is gonna go. No, I'm not even gonna put that in his hand because I'm not gonna take the time. Let's see how this looks on the back. There you go. He's got sort of a Wolverine vibe going, which you know what, it kind of works for the character, I suppose. I'm gonna put him over here, and I'm gonna move on to Road Pig, because why not? Because I can. If you guys are into it, don't cut yourself. These are children's toys. They are not sharp like like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom toys are, which you can stab yourself with. Alison Troy says Carrie Fisher was the script doctor for Lethal Weapon 4, so you could use an Ewok Village Leia as Rene Russo. Well, there you go. The more you know. All right, let's open Road Pig. There's the front of the box. It's not that exciting. It's a classified box. There's the specialty callouts. There's the QR code. There is Road Pig in all his glory at the Dreadnok's hideout, which is also a gas station, which is full of musical equipment. Oh, that would have been a cool accessory to get. A little car battery, a little stuffy. You know what? They should do this should be a play set. All the things that they've shown in all these, I just realized they should do a play set with this stuff. There should be a Dreadnok hangout. Okay, I just had an idea. It's not going to happen. But imagine if they did the Thunder Machine as a HasLab, but it came with the Dreadnok base, and the garage rolled up and you could fit the Thunder Machine in there, and it came with the gas pump, and it came with tires, and it came with a battery and barrels. That would actually be a pretty cool HasLab, in my opinion. Anyways, he's got a cinder block hammer. He's got all of this stuff going on. Callouts detail wise are his pig hammer, his shoulder pad, and his certified grade A ham tattoo. On the other side, of course, we get Road Pig with this weird mask on, and then Ruckus, his dog there. The vintage figure didn't come with a dog. I'm not entirely sure why this one does, but I'm okay with it. Like I said, I love the animal companions, so bring on more pets. Even this insert isn't as good as the old ones were. This is just it just feels like photoshopped and just thrown together. Not even Photoshop. Photoshop implies that people did something cool. This is like kid pics. Somebody just sort of cut and pasted a bunch of stuff, and they were like, "Okay, it's done. Let's submit it." All right, I'm gonna just get this stuff out as quickly as I can. Okay, that was pretty quick. It's out. Don't worry. The terrible sound is finished. He's big. He's like a big chunky boy, in a good way. I love that this is totally. This is totally not the body type of any action figure that I think I currently have in my collection, and I like it. I like that he's big and chunky and thick, and there's very little muscle definition. He's all just big and thick and tough, and that he could take a whole lot of punches before it's gonna affect him, which is appropriate given the size of the character of the figure. He looks really, really good. Yeah, really good. He's got I thought, oh no, it is. Yeah, the call out was for the hammer, this weird pig hammer, but he's also got a pig knee pad, There's the skull, which is actually painted really, really nice. The deco is really good on there. The shoulder pads that I love. The crossbow on here, but not the blocker. We're missing the blocker. I'm a little bit disappointed in that respect. I might get over it, but anyway, we get 2 alternate heads. We actually get 3 alternate heads, but I'll sort of explain myself momentarily. We get this sort of smug, laughing head. We get this weird helmeted road pig head. This feels very, very Mad Max inspired in a sort of a gunmetal metallic finish. I really like this one. I think that's going to be the display head for me for sure. I think he's got a gold tooth in there as well, which I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, he's got a scar across the bridge of his nose. Just a really good sculpt. Extra fists, which is nice when you got a big bruiser like him. We get a shield. I think this shield we saw with Shockwave, if I'm not mistaken. It says good luck on there. Good luck. Yikes. There's sort of a mask here that is going to work with this face, I think, quite well. It'll probably work with both of the unhelmeted, heads. But this one to me is a little bit more expressive in the eyes. So that would be the one that I would probably put that on. But as I said, I think this is going to be the display for me. Like that's just fun. I like that. And I'm cluttering this all for a reason. Okay, we'll get there. You'll understand when I get there. He's got like a weird meat hook thing that it's also like it looks like a climbing, a climbing axe spike type thing. Don't know what that's for. But there it is. We get, as I said, this like pig hammer thing, and it's also done in this metallic gunmetal color. Spikes on the top, meat cleaver kind of look to the back of it with a little bit spiky. Paint app on the handle wrap there, spiky on the bottom as well. This feels like a repurposed fireman's tool with a whole bunch of just weird stuff going on. It's a weird accessory, but it's fun and it suits the Dreadnoks to a T. Okay, at this point, I think what I need to start saying is I wasn't a Dreadnoks fan, but the more of these Dreadnoks that we get, the more I love the Dreadnoks. The Dreadnoks, always seem kind of goofy to me, and they always seem kind of like comic relief. And the designs were weird, and the accessories were weird, but like the more of these figures that I get in the classified line, the more I absolutely love them. And some figures I'm starting to pass on, certain characters I don't need. I look forward to Dreadnok characters now. Anyways, Cinder Block Hammer, which doesn't make any sense. As soon as you smash this Cinder Block, as soon as you sort of hit this Cinder Block, the thing would absolutely smash. But I think Road Pig's Cinder Block Hammer is kind of iconic at this point. So love that they included that. Then, as I said, we got a third alternate head, and the third alternate head is sort of the good boy head for Ruckus. I don't know why they included this, but I'm not complaining. I love the animal companions. This one is maybe like my least favorite that I've seen so far, for a number of reasons. If this is a pit bull, why does it not have a tail? If this is a pit bull, why is it so big? I know there's probably some, version of a pit bull that would be this size, but yeah, I don't know. I'm good. I'm good with it being in my collection. But as I said, it wasn't something that I needed in my collection. I didn't think, oh, it would make Road Pig better if they threw in an animal companion. Road Pig is just a big thug of a human. So I didn't need an animal companion, but I don't know. It's cool. As I said, I'm not complaining. I'm always happy to get more animals and just get them in the collection. He's gonna carry the hammer for sure. He's gonna carry the hammer. And of course, he's got big, thick hands, and so they don't bend very well. I think he's got to carry it over his shoulder. I'm gonna put all this stuff in the way. All right, so there are Gnawgahyde and Porkbelly and Yobbo and Road Pig and Ruckus. As I said, I'm really digging the Dreadnoks. And the reason that I sort of shoved this all right here is because I've been sort of waiting to do this. I've been sort of looking forward to do this. I'm gonna include the whole cast of characters that we've gotten so far in the Dreadnoks. And keep in mind, we've got at least one more on the way with Xandar coming in I think the next wave. Like he might be out sooner rather than later. But these guys are just, I don't even think I can fit them all in because I do have to fit these guys in too. We got Zarana, and then of course we get Zartan as the leader. How much fun is this? Like, even if you don't collect G.I. Joe Classified, you could just collect like a post-apocalyptic weird gang of like ruffians, and there you go. Like, these are really, really good figures, and just really fun figures. And that's all you need, right? Like, that's all you really need from an action figure is that they're cool. Sometimes, not always. I mean, it's good to have lore and cool stuff, but the Dreadnoks are really coming together, and they look really good, and I'm really, really digging these guys. Who a billionaire was saying, top 10 in 2024 right there. I don't know. I mean, he was 2024, wasn't he? I think he might have even been 2024. But now I can't remember. I got to go back and like look through, because I also like to take a look back at classified figures. I do in a G.I. Joe Classified Facebook group that I'm in. In the last couple years, I've done like a figure showdown to sort of get people to vote on what their favorite figures were in classified. But both of these guys are going to be right up there. I think if I had to pick between the two of these, I think Road Pig would edge out Gnawgahyde. But it's tough because if you're including, the animal companions, Porkbelly's pretty awesome. But figure-wise, if it's just the figures, Road Pig's my guy. But I don't know. Anyways, me stressing over, my top 10 figures of the year need not happen tonight. But anyways, what do you guys think of the Dreadnoks? Are you guys collecting are you collecting classified? If so, what do you think of the Dreadnoks? If you're not collecting classified, what do you think of the Dreadnoks? Is it something that you would sort of collect as a subline just because they're cool, fun figures, or not something you're into? Let me know in the chat if you're in the chat. If you're not in the chat, if you're watching this on replay, please let me know in the comments. I'm always curious, what people that watch this sort of after the fact are thinking and feeling too. So, let me see. Hey, no chewing. What's going on? Good to have you here. John says, when I hear Road Pig, I think of Roadhog from Overwatch 2. Never played Overwatch 2, so I don't know if this figure is anywhere near that character or not. John also says, what a crew. What a crew indeed. These guys are a ton of fun. As I said, we've still got Xandar coming. And then I think we'll probably... it feels like a no-brainer that we'll get Monkey Wrench. It feels like a no-brainer that we will get the Thunder Machine with Thrasher. Then I'm just trying to think of other Dreadnoks that would be, automatic inclusions in the classified line. But I can't think of any more. Heart Wrencher would be an easy one. Like that would make a ton of sense because you could just reuse, most of, if not all of Serana. So, I think we could totally get a Heart Wrencher. Who else? I'm just trying to think of who else is in the Dreadnoks that we would. Is Crystal Ball in the Dreadnoks? That's been a name reveal, right? Crystal Ball's in the Dreadnoks, I think. So that's, another one. So, this little subline or faction within Cobra is growing. And I'm here for it. I think if they do more Dreadnoks, I'll buy them as somebody that doesn't care about Dreadnoks. So they're doing something right. Anyways, that's all I got tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am excited to open more toys. I don't know what I'm going to open next week. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to open next week. And I don't know. I just realized that Christmas Day will be a Wednesday. Would you guys watch? Would you guys, on Christmas, on December 25th, would people watch? Will I go live? Will I get something for Christmas that I'll just want to open? Do I dislike the company of my family so much that I would even entertain the idea of doing a live video? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, maybe I'll put out a poll for the next live one and see what people would sort of want me to open. And maybe I'll put on another poll that's whether or not people. Nah, you know what? If my wife permits, I will probably just do a Christmas Day video as well, because why not? It's Christmas. Anyways, it's been an absolute pleasure. It is. It's always more fun to open toys with friends. And thank you guys for joining me. It's fun to sort of talk through these. It's fun to hopefully share some of my passion with you guys. And I enjoy doing it live. There's little weird sort of things that I don't love about it, and that the editing, right, the sound of the plastic and stuff like that. I wish I could just sort of like snap my fingers and the figure would be out of the plastic, but alas, that technology doesn't exist just yet. So, anyways, now I'm just on tangents. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.